welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham, and this morning I'm joined by Jono King, who's from Summit Minerals. Now, Jono to his mates, you are about to list. You're on the ASX. You have a listing pending, looming, shall we say, and it's based on a pretty substantial portfolio of projects. You've got projects over in WA, lithium and rare earth projects, and an antimony project over in New South Wales. For the sake of the sake of looking at them all, let's start in New South Wales. We'll have a look at the antimony project. It's an interesting element.
Yeah, well, I think the great thing about antimony for everyone's background is just that it's a new battery metal, and the new antimony battery is being seen as a fabulous store of passive energy forms. And Australia, of course, is blessed with resources in all commodities, but one that is, significantly underdeveloped is antimony. And we know that if we look across the markets, that the Russians and the Chinese dominate the market. And we know that the Chinese in particular, their supply is falling. And in reality, Wally, there's no supply coming into the market to replace that's disappearing. So we see huge upside with the new use, a limited supply, and there's really no replacement with the growing demand. So, it's definitely going to be an interesting space. I think that there's a number of positives in this new antimony battery, and that is that unlike what we see with the lithium batteries, which degrade over time, the antimony battery doesn't. So essentially, some of the material is consumed while the battery is charged. When that is depleted, it simply reforms. And so the battery can just rebuild itself over and over again. And you don't get any memory degradation, and you don't get any buildup of any of the deleterious elements within the battery. So we think that longer term, it's going to be a more sustainable battery, and it's a very safe battery. We know that there are issues with the lithium batteries. And so, look, it's a work in development. It's a very positive development, and that we do feel that in time, the energy space will demand the development of this battery.
And like all good things, it does need a bit more publicity. It does need a bit more of a push out there to get into the public psyche, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely true. Antimony is one of those metals which most people know absolutely nothing about, and that's just because in Australia it's been produced as a byproduct, and therefore it doesn't get the gloss, the recognition of gold or silver or nickel or other like commodities, and really its time will come, and we hope to be positioned on the ASX ready to take full advantage of it when that time arrives.
Okay, so your Windfall antimony project in New South Wales, how's that shaping up?
I think the project's fantastic. I love it. I love the geology there. We cover the old Munga Creek mine, which last operated in 1974. And we obviously want to get in there and put some holes into that, because really the ground in New South Wales is significantly underexplored. But there are issues with land access in New South Wales, and you've just got to go through the process. And once you get on the ground, hopefully we can do our work and we can show that there is plenty of upside around Munga Creek and all the satellites that are in the area.
All right, so will we move across to WA now and talk about your other projects? What have you got there?
Well, I think the next big one is Stallion, which is out in the Ponton Creek area. So near, is it VME Resources?
Oh, yes, yeah.
We're in those same paleo channels, but instead of looking for uranium, we are looking at the rare earths. And what we've found is that there is a rare earth signature, which is preserved up near the uranium signature within the paleo channel. But more importantly to us is that there are some rare earths which are sitting in the underlying weathered bedrock. So we've got some hot granites out there. And at this stage, the Stallion deposit, this is the old Manhattan Corp Stallion. It's been extensively drilled. There's 240 odd drill holes across the area. Our granted tenement has or captures about 79 of those holes, and they assayed for at least 3 of the rare earth elements, and those all show significant elevations. And we think that if we can get in there, do some due diligence drilling, expand the analytical suite, get all the 17 rare earths plus scandium, yttrium, and a couple of others, hopefully we'll see that we've got some very high potential in that deposit, which remains at this point largely drilled. So if we can recover the pulse from Manhattan, it'll save us a lot of money too. So it's a bit of a free kick, hopefully.
All right, so I do notice the rest of the projects over here in WA, they're basically they're lithium projects, one with a little bit of rare earth there, but I mean, you can't deny even though we're looking for antimony over in New South Wales, you can't deny that lithium's still, the sweet baby of the battery world. So it's, you're mad if you don't have a look at what you've got.
Yeah, look, I agree. And the great thing about our portfolio is it's where you want to be. I mean, all the projects are located in the right areas. So we have our Phillips River near Ravensthorpe. So we're right near Mount Catlin. So we're 20 k's to the south there. We lie on the same geology. We're just around the corner. We're about 2 kilometres from BNR's recent Phillips South discovery, where they've got a number of pegmatites going 2% plus. So that's awesome. So right locality there. If you come up to Greenbushes, we're 7 k's south of Greenbushes, and IGO, as you know, have recently farmed in on a whole heap of ground there, taking out a $6 million joint venture, I think with Venus over the Bridgetown area. So, again, great address. And we are literally a long strike from Greenbushes. So we're very encouraged by that. And then as we move further north, we're next to, our ground lies next to the Melinda lithium development it was by Arrow, and I think they recently farmed it out to another company, mainly because Arrow are busy in Africa. So they've got another company in there who have taken over and managing this non-core asset for Arrow. But again, there is a development underway, and we are right alongside. So those 3 are in a fantastic position. The northernmost project sits right basically halfway between Wodgina and Pilgangoora. So again, on the same geology as Pilgangoora. So another nice address. So that's great. And the last one, which is sort of in the central Gascoyne, to me is very, very interesting. It's the old Jalabor uranium discovery. Now, these are carnotite deposits, basically surface enrichment of uranium in calcretes. And from the work of Dreadnought and Hastings are already developing their Yangibana rare earth play. And Dreadnought have identified a number of carbonatites in the same package that we are in. So we're on the top end of that package. It's interesting that we've got a uranium signature in calcrete. And what are the 2 products? Well, some of the products of a weathered carbonatite, well, they're calcrete and they're uranium enrichment. And we're seeing those things. So to me, the entire lithium portfolio has some real opportunity. And but the key thing is that the addresses are right. You know that opportunity just by where these tenements are located.
So, well, the listing, the IPO as it is, how's that progressing?
Well, we're pretty much done, and at this point, Wally, we're just waiting on the ASX, I believe. So we were hoping to list in late July. Maybe there is a number of companies lined up. I mean, it's been a big push to list by several ventures at this point. And I think we're just slotted in and we'll come on when the ASX is ready for us.
Once the listing's gone through, make sure you do get hold of us and let us know what's going on. Keep us up to date with all the progress of what's going on across the portfolio. But until then, it's nice to meet you. Nice to have you drop into the Roadhouse, and we look forward to the next time that happens.
Very good, Wally. Thank you very much and thanks for your time and the introduction to your audience.